first JMC review of 2024.
I have a bad feeling about this.
This is my 9th year doing videos on YouTube, and I can't believe it any more than you can.
You need to get out more.
Here in America, we're undergoing another presidential election, which pretty much guarantees this year's going to be a shit show, but let's forget that for a sec and start off the year as we always do with a review from the filmography of my all-time favorite action star, Charles fucking Bronson.
How many children have you killed with this shit? Get back!
After spending the last few years looking at the pre-Death Wish era of his career, we're gonna jump ahead to when Charles Bronson reigned supreme as America's granddad action star, the 1980s.
Oh, gnarly!
Today we'll be looking at The Evil That Men Do, a movie that actually turns 40 this year. Notable for being one of his most grisly vigilante movies, Bronson reunited once again with his most frequent director, J. Lee Thompson, fresh off the wonderfully controversial 10 to Midnight. Based off a novel by R. Lance Hill, Hill was originally hired to write the screenplay. Mad Magazine cartoonist John M. Crowther was brought in after. According to Crowther, producers found Hill's script was in need of major rewrites. Crowther extensively rewrote the script, something he called a constant challenge. In the end, they were both given writing credit, although Hill was credited under the pseudonym David Lee Henry. Producer Panko Conner originally tried to get the film made by the Cannon Group, but Cannon refused to reimburse the screenplay and rights option that had been paid by Conner, Bronson, his wife Jill Ireland, and J. Lee Thompson. A budget was eventually secured through ITC Entertainment, and the film was distributed by TriStar, making this one of the few Charles Bronson films of the 80s not to be released through Cannon. Shot entirely in Mexico with no sound stages, The Evil That Men Do brings us a tale of corruption, immoral depravity, and the oh-so-gray line of poetic justice. After getting the classic studio intro of the TriStar horse, the film introduces our star with a clip from later in the movie. A pretty odd and random one to insert. We start our story in Suriname, South America, being introduced to the film's horrendously evil villain, Dr. Clement Moloch, played by Joseph Mayer. A sadistic torturer for hire who has worked for many dictator-led countries. With an audience of military officials, Moloch demonstrates his methods on an array of victims. His latest one is a journalist named George Hidalgo, who has written many pieces against Moloch. The doctor has him stripped, hoisted up naked, and proceeds to torture him to death via electroshocks to the nipples and genitals. I got no jokes. This is really fucking disturbing. A group of special agents attempt to assassinate Moloch with a car bomb, but a leak tips the doctor off and the agents could be doing better. Moloch flees to Guatemala with his equally sadistic assistant, Claire, played by Antoinette Bauer, who also happens to be his sister.
He was a nuisance, and I'm glad he's dead. I only wish he'd suffered a little longer.
What can you say, but god damn what a brutal opening. Even by Bronson's standards. Speaking of which, we cut to the Cayman Islands, the tone much more pleasant, and we're properly introduced to Charles Bronson's character, Holland. A retired CIA assassin living out his golden years in paradise, taking walks on the beach, saying hello to the local aquatic life.
Good morning, Quasimodo.
Up there, living in the sun.
A visitor named Hector Lamillon, played by the legendary Oscar winner Jose Ferrer, arrives on the island telling Holland of the journalist George's death, who was a close friend of both men. Hector wants to hire Holland to take out the Doctor, bringing with him videotaped interviews of Moloch's surviving victims.
My husband was made to watch while I was raped with a bottle, and then the doctor killed him in front of me. The doctor forced me to eat ground glass. It hurt my insides so bad that I cannot have solid food even now. My wife and children were taken from me. The doctor forced my wife to eat her own excrement. My children's bones were broken.
Jesus Christ!
They made me watch while my friend was stripped naked. 2 men held him while the doctor drove nails through his testicles. He fainted many times from the pain.
Oh, you don't say. Despite these heartbreaking testimonies, Holland maintains he's retired. Before he can say drop of a dime, Holland comes to Mexico City to tell Hector he'll do the job. He'll even do it for free. Maybe he needs some prune juice and a calm night's sleep before he made his final decision.
Right.
Told that the doctor is being pressured to leave Guatemala by its nervous government, Holland has to act fast. He wants a woman and a child to go with him to pass as a family.
Goddamn rich cunt! I kill rich cunts!
Cause that's always worked out for Bronson's characters before.
Oh, fucking hell.
The wife and daughter of the murdered journalist are brought in to play the faux family. Sarah, played by Nicole Thomas, and Rihanna, played by Theresa Saldana, who classic TV fans may recognize from The Commish. Originally, Charles Bronson's wife, Jill Ireland, was going to play Rihanna, but she changed her mind, instead staying on as an associate producer. She pushed for Theresa Saldana to get the female lead. Saldana herself had been the victim of a vicious stabbing by an obsessed stalker in 1982, an attack that almost killed her. This film was part of an attempt to make a comeback after a long recovery process. Rihanna is nervous to work alongside an assassin, but goes with the plan, determined to get justice for her husband. Not sure that necessitates putting her daughter in harm's way, but I'm not a professional killer, so what do I know? It's revealed that Holland possesses a unique gift.
In the scrub room, she told your wife I looked like a killer. She could have been overheard.
You read lips?
Yes?
Nifty. And just like that, Jose Ferrer is out of the film. He never pops up again after this scene. And I thought Harvey Keitel was underused in The Irishman. The fake family arrive in Guatemala. There's an incident at the airport. No connection to them. Just another stupid white guy who doesn't get how immigration works in dark countries. The old man and his much too young family slide right through customs. But in a time where Al Pacino had a kid at 83, this is probably one of the least bullshitty aspects of the story. The trio check into a hotel.
Which bedroom do you want?
Either, I'll sleep out here.
There's no bed.
Sleep on the floor.
At 63, I'm sure they'll do wonders for your back.
I like it here, Mommy.
Great line read, kid. They meet with a Guatemalan contact named Max, played by Rene Enriquez, who supplies Holland with guns and tells him the best place to find Moloch, his one true weakness, cockfights.
That box is his.
I would have pegged him for a polo type of lad. Holland spots Moloch and his sister, but the doctor's bodyguard, Roland, played by Raymond St. Jacques, has binocular eyes for Bronson. Really has eyes for Bronson.
I thought love was only true in fairy tales.
Oh, and Rihanna gets into a stink-eye contest with the doctor. Holland stakes out Moloch's compound, getting a good look at his 1980s video surveillance system. Over the next few days, he begins to grow close to Sarah.
It's extraordinary how easily he's gotten little Sarah to like him.
The innocence of children is blessed.
The miracle of off-screen bonding and possible deleted scenes. Rihanna, for some reason, holds a real pissy attitude towards Holland.
You don't like him?
Don't let him fool you, Max. He's cold, bloodless.
Leading to a funny moment where she forgets he can read lips.
He doesn't react to anyone or anything. He reads lips.
I'm surrounded by idiots.
Fearing for their safety, Holland suggests they both go home before things get too dangerous. They stay, but leave Sarah with Max before trailing the doctor's bodyguard. Roland meets with a corrupt U.S. embassy man, played by the excellent John Glover.
Randolph, if I used any influence with these people, Washington would know in 5 minutes. 5 minutes later, my ass would be posted to Afghanistan.
No surprise, the corruption goes high. Holland and Rihanna follow Roland to a scuzzy-ass bar. While there, a block-faced 7-foot giant makes drunken, unwanted moves on Saldana. But Bronson quickly shows what happens when rapists cross his path. Now that's a cockfight. The bodyguard seems very turned on by this display of genital destruction.
You got strong hands, folks.
I just had glass chandeliers.
Holland and Rihanna get Roland to want to join them for a threesome.
Man, I am down for anything or anybody.
I think we might have met the first bisexual bad guy of a Charles Bronson film. And before you say he's too old to turn him on, be honest. Is it actually possible you could resist that mustache?
I don't think so.
But before this chocolate, vanilla, and peanut butter love fest can commence,
Get this party started.
That motherfucker's dead.
Rihanna, for reasons I can't figure out, is shocked by this.
You didn't tell me you were going to kill. You depraved! You no principles whatever!
Bitch, what'd you think was gonna happen? It looks like she's leaving. Holland dumps Roland's body at Moloch's compound to let him know
It's on, baby. It's on.
the next day, Rihanna decides she ain't going home.
We got as far as the boarding gate, but I just couldn't go any further.
Okay, does this chick have bipolar disorder? Make up your mind, lady! While the doctor becomes paranoid and rages to Briggs, the U.S. embassy man, Holland tracks down Moloch's sister and breaks into her apartment. She suddenly shows up, prompting Holland to hide under the bed. She's brought a lady friend, leading to... Along with Roland, there's a lot of gay villainy going on here.
Forgive me a cruel chuckle.
After getting a fair amount of bed pounding, Holland captures Claire, takes out her bodyguard, and gives him a good old fire hose hanging. Maybe it's just me, but he looks like a real dummy. Holland orders Max to leave town with Sarah to keep her safe. Unfortunately, Briggs has figured out about Max, and it goes down how you expect.
He has a summer place out at Lake Amatitlan.
It's unclear what's happened to the girl at this point. Rihanna asks Holland how he knew George.
Your husband had a big curiosity. We knew each other for years.
I'd like to know.
So would the doctor if he got his hands on you.
How much are you being paid for this?
Not getting paid anything.
Where do you live?
Jesus, bro, that's a lot of questions.
I live in a very peaceful place. I can watch a sunset every evening, read by natural light until 10 o'clock. In the morning, I can shower with rainwater.
Uh-huh, yeah, but you still have a TV and VCR, so it's not like you're a complete nature fucker. Holland calls Moloch, making it seem like the kidnapping is about money.
Say goodbye to your brother.
Please help me. Help me, please.
Don't you just love seeing an evil cunt break down like a baby?
Yep.
Holland figures out their location has been compromised. They load Claire into the trunk and take off. The doctor's goons hot on their trail.
You goddamn women drivers!
In all seriousness, this is actually an extremely well done, kick-ass car chase. The goons are toast, but so is the sister.
Good riddance as far as I'm concerned.
Holland and Rihanna buy a truck from a reasonable farmer and make their way to the village of Mangalina. Unfortunately, the old-ass truck cocks up on them, leaving them stuck in the hot South American sun. Holland takes the time to get a tortilla, while Rihanna, once again, mopes about how hard this whole situation is, and god damn it, this is really getting annoying.
I think maybe I've had enough. All this killing, the blood.
Did your wimpy ass think assassinating a torture expert was gonna be rosy and calm?
Okay, princess. That's it. Welcome to real life.
Later that night as they rest, we get this odd moment.
Holland, did anyone ever tell you you talk in your sleep?
What'd I say?
I guess that's cute. They arrive at the village and are able to gain the trust of the people. The embassy man and another assassin arrive and confront Holland in the town's bar.
You've got what we want.
I only deal with Moloch. Where is he?
Fuck him. What do you care? Just so long as you get the money, right?
My client's willing to go 200 grand.
It's not money you want, is it, Holland?
This is a very well executed, tense scene that builds to one hell of a bloody conclusion.
He was wearing a bulletproof vest.
Didn't do much good. Holland phones Moloch, making him believe his sister is still alive. He agrees to meet them at an abandoned mine near the village. Upon arriving at the mine, they find it's not so abandoned. Many of the miners are missing limbs or have severe facial deformities. It's not hard to guess how they ended up like this. Holland and Rihanna convince the miners to hide as Moloch's car arrives.
You're really going to shoot him?
Jesus Christ, woman! Stop acting so fucking surprised!
I can't take much more of this.
Moloch arrives and our suspicion about how the miners got deformed is confirmed.
To get my sister back.
Do you hear me?
Doctor, el doctor.
Moloch then reveals he has Sarah.
I regret what may seem excessively cruel.
Bullshit! Holland plays the bluff game as long as he can while Moloch cries like a bitch over his sister. Rihanna is of no use. Just that it seems like they're fucked. The miners jump in, allowing Holland to kill Moloch's goon and save Sarah. In an interesting twist, Holland and the Doctor never meet face to face, and Bronson doesn't deliver the big kill. That honor goes to the miners. Some might see this as a letdown, but I actually find it fitting that the Doctor is killed by his own victims. It's so satisfying seeing him cower as they pick his flesh off.
Woo! You know he did.
The film comes to an abrupt conclusion, showing Holland back in the Cayman Islands with Sarah and Rihanna by his side. Why? I do not know. He could do so much better. Where's Kathleen Wilhoit when you need her?
Suck a doorknob, you homo.
And that was The Evil That Men Do. It's not a perfect movie, but it has many strong aspects that make it well worth watching in my opinion. Even by Charles Bronson standards, the violence in this film is extremely shocking. It won't be for everyone, but all these gruesome scenes make it all so satisfying when the bad guys get their just desserts. Charles Bronson is just fine as Holland, kicking ass and being savage while still having a surprising amount of warmth. Joseph Mayer does a great job as Dr. Mullock, playing one of the most chilling Bronson villains of all time. Theresa Saldana, sadly, is the weak link of the cast. And honestly, I don't think her acting is bad, but the writing just gives her nothing to work with. The film came out the same year as Victims for Victims, the Theresa Saldana story. A TV movie where Saldana portrayed herself, telling the story of her own gruesome attack and the organization she started to help victims of violent crimes. A much better use of her talents. The film's writers continued for a few more years, penning more action films with uneven receptions. John M. Crowther, the very same year this film came out, did work on the Chuck Norris movie, Missing in Action. R. Lance Hill, still using his pseudonym David Lee Henry, wrote the 80s cult classics 8 Million Ways to Die and goddamn Roadhouse, as well as the 90s Steven Seagal movie Out for Justice.
It's not bad.
Director J. Lee Thompson showed once again that he was to Charles Bronson what John Ford was to John Wayne. With the occasional exception, he knew how to make Bronson look like the goddamn king of action. While the plot and character development can be a little thin, the film has a smooth flow. Some special shoutouts are owed to cinematographer Javier Uvalacabu Cruz, who used the Mexican location to great effect, and composer Ken Thorne, whose score does an amazing job of creating tension. It kind of reminds me of the score for the slasher film Pieces. While critical reception was mixed, it was successful, earning over $13 million on a $4.6 million budget.
I'm gonna need a really big piggy bank for all of this. Come on, Rick.
If you're a Charles Bronson fan, you've probably already seen it, but if you're just starting in his filmography, I definitely recommend checking it out. If you're a fan of 80s action, I think you will have a good time, as long as you have a strong stomach. Hope you enjoyed the first JMC review of the year. It's probably going to be a long one, given past experience with election years. And I will see you again, hopefully soon.
Hot. What do? Recycle the stuff from the John?
We know, because we pissed in it. That's not all.